there's lots of stories, there's lots of tips, there's lots of ideas, there's lots of reasons, there's lots of shoulds. We all know that it's a destination for most. It's not now. And so the tour is about the focus, the law of attraction. Like, what if, even if nothing else happens for the chair of joy and it goes to the, chair graveyard, whatever, even if I talk for the rest of my life every single day about joy, and I've raised the elevation just in my family, I've done what I came here to do. But if I can find a bunch of awesome people to keep talking about joy, especially at corporate America, because that's the leadership, there is going to be a massive shift in the world. So then you have a new generation of joy understanders. I now understand. Oh, joy? Yeah. Well, let me tell you what it is. It was when my mommy played with me at the park, and then we had that one cookie. Remember that one cookie? And so that's the education that these little ones are going. So now they're CEOs, and now we don't have to go, you need joy and love and heart leadership. Thank you, Don Kirk, in your businesses, because you now get it. So if that happened in my lifetime, even, 1,000 households with chairs of joy for little ones, we've gotten there. All right, I'm going to read this quick first. This is just my mantra, which I don't have anywhere, which I don't have memorized. So here we go. Ready? Where there is joy, there is life. Written by everyone. Where others see darkness, I see light. Where others face hopelessness, I expect to feel joyful. Where others search for joy, I find it in sitting still. Where others feel numb, I feel life. Where others feel joy is someday, I feel joy is today. I am joy, and I weave it into the fabric of life day after day. I am a superhero, and my superpower is joy. I am in a room, and joy lingers behind me. I meet people, and joy elevates both of us. I see people on the street, and they know it. I hear joy because I listen, and you are heard. I allow the spotlight to shine on you, and I ask you to remember. In every way, I know joy resides within me, and its potential lies in every human on the planet. In every way, I cultivate the natural fibers of joy within myself, and only then will the threads be woven through the fabric of my family, my work, my community, and my world. In every way, I am a creator of joy, a provider of joy, a source of joy, and only then will joy rise. In every way, we are all here to remind each other, and only then will we experience the simplicity of joy. In every way, joy is a matter of survival. Therefore, it is necessary. And only when I believe this, there is joy, and there is life for all. What do you want to know? Cindy's question is, the idea of spreading joy, where did it come from? I don't really think I wanted to ever spread joy. I just know that I was joyful, and people kept saying, why are you so joyful? And so I think that I was explaining my life away so much, I just got really tired of that. And so I said to my husband, we're buying a big white chair, and imagine his surprise when he saw that I was buying a big white chair. And then it was just a process, or a gimmick, if you will, to show people what sitting still on a deck looks like, overlooking a lake, or sitting still on a log in the woods, or sitting still on the top of a mountain, or and just letting the memories and the celebrations. That's really what I've been about my whole life, is the memories and the celebrations. We have so many, like, why do we keep searching and searching and looking for the next one? The company that I bought this from is not going to be happy because I don't remember the name of it, but it was in Texas, and they were very kind, and they have all different colors. So I see all different colored chairs in corporate America, or even designing chairs based on, the colors of the corporation. But it got shipped to me from Texas to Las Vegas, and then I took the chair from Las Vegas in my van. That was its first road trip when the COVID hit. I couldn't share it with anybody. I'd started out taking it out in the mountainsides or the parks or in parking lots, And then I just put it away for the summer because it felt like it wasn't right. It was just too much going on. So what inspired the tour then was to get it back on the road. I'd made a couple of stops in Colorado and different places to see some friends, which are the videos on the site now. But I just knew I had friends all over the Midwest and all the way down to Texas and all through C-suite. And I just wanted to hear what they had to say. I wanted to put them in the chair, them and their recommended friends, and find out if they could feel what I feel when I sit still. And so the journey is just 15 cities in 15 days. To get an idea is it something that is so simple that I can make it so simple that someone can have a conversation with someone else? And that's it. I met this girl, her name was Ashley, and what city was I in? Indianapolis. And it was the night before Jody D. Curtis had 8 interviews, I think, scheduled in a conference room just like we're in today. And I was out the night before. I had a glass of wine at Cooper's Hawk Winery. And Amanda said, "You look very interesting to me," she said. "What are you doing?" And I was like, having a glass of wine, but honestly, I'm going across the country with a chair. Would you like to see it? And she said, of course. So I showed her the picture of the chair, and she walked away, and she came back a few minutes later, and she stood there for the next 10 minutes. She just asked question after question, smart questions too. She got it immediately. Long story short, she said, "I have a chair of joy. I forgot about it. It's covered with clothes, but I'm gonna paint it purple, and I'm gonna put some lush fabric on it, and I'm going to send you a picture of my chair of joy." So there was no fancy anything. It was me and her talking in a restaurant. And when that happened, something in Indiana just flipped. It's like, we got it. That's what's supposed to happen. She was talking about how sad and angry her boyfriend was because he was working at Kroger, and she said, he got a raise. She said, I said, what did he do? And she said, well, I don't really know, but he was putting stuff in the freezer, and now he's taking stuff out of the freezer. And I said, oh, that's so cool. She said, yeah, but he's up all night, and he's worried, and oh, it's so stressful, and I just don't know what to do. And so we talked about the process, about, remembering all the celebrations and the cool things. And she's like, and then she described his chair of joy, and he's going to sit in it, and I'm going to make him do it, and that whole thing. It was super cool. Yeah. So the next day, the Indianapolis, and from there on, there's just this calm that has come over me. That's like, people can talk about it without me. Yeah. I think when I started out with the tour on November 30th, I actually was just scared to death. I had no idea where I was. I had pegged the cities. I didn't know who was going to be the host in any of the cities. I didn't know if anybody would show up. I didn't know really what to say to people about it, really, except that I have a van and there's a chair in it, and it's going to sit hopefully somewhere, and you're going to sit in it and talk to me something about joy. So that's kind of where it started. And Tony Martinez from the C-suite sort of led the charge in Dallas. And I got there on Sunday afternoon, November 30th, and the shoot was the next day on Monday, and every single one canceled except for one. And I had this just freaking gut feeling that said, this is going to happen, and it's going to be spectacular. So I worked from 3 o'clock when I drove in till 10 o'clock that night. I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was calling and typing and begging and asking and confirming. And then I'd get a confirmation, and then they'd cancel, and then another and then another, I can't come out, it's COVID. There's, blah, blah, blah. Totally acceptable, all very good reasons. People got ill, things came up, it all happened. But at the end of the day, between National Speakers Association and C-Suite, we had 8 incredible people, and we shot the Dallas sizzle reel, and it turned out phenomenal. So that's kind of been the push and the drive through the whole thing. Every city's been almost exactly the same. Where are we going to go? Who's going to show up? Does anybody come? Does anybody care? And the answer has been yes, yes, yes. No one knows this yet, but I drove into Pensacola, Florida, and I was like, the beach gives me the juice, man. I love the beach. And it was the white sand and not one single confirmation. I know no one in Pensacola. I made bunches of calls. No one confirmed. Pulled the chair up to the side of the beach, the beautiful pavilion. some young lady and her mother and her daughter helped me push the chair up the ramp, and I just sat out on the beach under the pavilion, and sure enough, a retired military, Andre, showed up. We talked about war and joy. 2 firemen showed up. We talked about, first responders and what that feels like and how joy affects them. And I think I had 9 or 10 people that day. So I didn't know. And then I was like, okay, now it's just anyone. I don't need a camera. I just need a heart and a connection and faith that people, as much as me, want joy. I would ask for contributions to help fund this much needed process. I would ask for the people who know how to make documentaries to come forth and begin to put this all together, because I have no idea what to do with all this. It's the most amazing footage that anyone is ever going to lay their eyes on. I just can't wait to dig in and start editing it. And I think just find a lot of people who I can teach this to. This question thing that we all did today, simple, right? Who's going to do this with us? Like, let's bring the party together.
You were talking about how it was a faith walk for you, and then I could tell you have some trepidation about what is next. But just keep the faith, because you have everything you need, and this is your vision, and I feel like it's going to happen.
In my world of music, we always say less is more. Well, this is in the key of joy. Less is more. It is like 3 letters, and you made a whole tour out of it. I
don't know. There's lots of stories. There's lots of tips. There's lots of ideas. There's lots of reasons. There's lots of shoulds. We all know that it's a destination for most. It's not now. And so the tour is about the focus, the law of attraction. Like, what if, even if nothing else happens for the chair of joy and it goes to the, chair graveyard, whatever, even if I talk for the rest of my life every single day about joy, and I've raised the elevation just in my family, I've done what I came here to do. But if I can find a bunch of awesome people to keep talking about joy, especially at corporate America, because that's the leadership, there is going to be a massive shift in the world. So then you have a new generation of joy understanders. I now understand. Oh, joy? Yeah, well, let me tell you what it is. It was when my mommy played with me at the park, and then we had that one cookie. Remember that one cookie? And so that's the education that these little ones are going to. So now they're CEOs, and now we don't have to go, you need joy and love and heart leadership. Thank you, Don Kirk, in your businesses, because you now get it. So if that happened in my lifetime, even 1,000 households with chairs of joy for little ones, we've gotten there.
Well, what if you had actually a room that you said, you're stressed out at work, and you said, I need to go to the joy room, and just go sit in a chair, and it says, okay, I've been stressed out all day, I can't take no more, I'm going to the joy room. And all of a sudden, you come out the room, okay, I can deal with everybody.
Sounds like a timeout chair for
adults. It's like a timeout chair, but you don't call it a timeout chair because now it's a joy chair.
The best advantage to and benefit to joy, finding your own joy and sharing it with others, is that it's very reciprocal. When you share your joy, when you show you have joy, other people follow. So it's something that is full circle. It comes full circle. And the more we have, the more we receive, and the bigger the pool of people who are joyful and enjoying their life.
So that's a wrap here in Chicago, Illinois. And thank you to our hosts. Everybody has been a fabulous host. Kathleen and Cindy and Walt and Lynn was here, and also Carrie. So I want to just say that the 13th city was equally inspiring to me as all of them, and I can't wait for the next 2. And also, people are talking about the 2021 tour with the Chair of Joy.